This is normally the part of the podcast where we do an ad break or an ad read, but I don't have any. So instead of doing an ad read, what are we gonna do? Let's talk about why Twitter shouldn't be free. Where do we start? Do we start with Cap versus Hastr0, Courage versus Hastr0, or Thorin versus the world? Where do we start?
Let's start with the tweet that started it all, right?
We have to.
You can read the tweet that started it all while I go find JCap's tweet longer.
Let me read the tweet because a lot of people didn't even know what was happening. So,
I literally woke up on Monday morning. Like, I fucking wake up in the morning. I woke up at like 2 p.m. on Monday, and I looked on Twitter, and I saw people saying there's been a murder on the timeline, and then I tried my hardest to find it, and when I saw it, I was like, oh my god. So where is JCap's tweet longer?
Here we go. This is the tweet. This is the tweet that started it all. March 1st. When did Hastr0 tweet this? 10:30 a.m. in the morning. That's the first day you wake up and you're like, let me tweet this. That was a big time match versus LA Thieves last night for #1 seed in the Call of Duty League Major. Got the 3-0, and the Thieves are suddenly quiet again. And then he tweeted under that tweet saying, I mean, not even a mention of the match before or after on some of those timelines. That's how you know you've asserted dominance. And then Jake, who we love Jake, right? Jake Lucky, who said, shit. And then, here we go again meme. So this is where everything started, was back at this tweet right here.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to also throw out there, this wasn't fair, because Hex literally didn't have access to internet when this was happening. So,
oh, man.
This was not a fair fight. I would like to throw that out there. Hastr0 was mismatched, and it still wasn't a fair fight. Hex was in the middle of a fucking ocean deep sea fishing when this was happening.
You think Hex would have helped Hastr0, or?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Everything Hastr0 was saying goes against Optic's philosophy, because he was taking shots at LA Thieves for doing content. Excuse me, he was taking shots at Jack for doing content, saying there's more ways for organizations to make money than making YouTube videos. Which is what we said last podcast. I called them out, specifically Dallas. Why are we not making videos when one of your owners is Post Malone? But continue.
Hey, he had a Pokemon concert.
Huh?
He had a Pokemon concert.
You guys are talking at the exact same time. What?
TJ, go first.
I'm surprised nobody said that.
Because no one knows he's a fucking owner.
Yeah, fair.
Like, literally, they don't talk about him. He doesn't talk about them.
Posty did have a Pokemon concert.
But it wasn't affiliated with Envy.
I know it wasn't. Still.
It
was a pretty cool concert.
All right, do you have anything else to say on the initial tweet? Because I have the tea that Kaplan spilled in a tweet longer.
Oh,
spill the tea.
Send it away.
So the title of this tweet longer from Jordan Kaplan at JCap415, former world champion for Team Envious under Hastr0. The title of this,
world champion.
Is it two-time?
He's a two-time world champion.
He is, but not under Envy. He won a championship for Envy, just one, but he is a two-time in general. The title of this is Story Time. So, so here's the story about how Stro and I finally parted ways after I was on this team for 2.5 years consecutively at the time, and when I alleged earlier that he tried to fuck me over. For those who don't know or may forget, the BO3 season was 2016 and IW was 2017. Remember that because I'll be bouncing back and forth between referencing both throughout the post. This is going to be long, so sorry for that in advance. Let's start off with some important facts to know. The roster of myself, Slasher, Apathy, and John was the Envy team from mid-2016 through the end of 2017. During this time, myself and Slasher were signed throughout the 2016 season, but App and John never actually signed a contract with Team Envious. In our 2016 contracts, me and Slasher had a clause where we had to stream 20 hours a month and could be fined $50 for every hour we didn't. That hit the requirement. Please remember that detail in parentheses. We won 2016 CoD champs and renegotiated and agreed to new terms for 2017. Those are new contracts. We actually let Stro keep half of our 2016 CoD champs payout. So half of 2016 COD champs was 400,000.
800. Well, half of it would be
half of it was 400,000 before taxes. So we actually let Stro keep half our COD champs money for a few extra months. In reality, we didn't care the second half. Excuse me. We didn't get the second half of the payout until like April 2017 after winning champs in September of 2016. That was all in exchange for a higher salary in 2017 for Infinite Warfare season. This is because he wanted the cash on the books to look better for investors at the time. Now, although we agreed to new terms, Stro never actually sent us the contracts for 2017. I asked multiple times through the first few months for him to send the contracts so we could sign, but he never did. However, we were getting paid the correct amount and on time every month, so I just let it go. I didn't care. Let it be clear, we were never under contract during the 2017 season. None of us. So we're going to stop there. What are your initial thoughts on what I've read so far?
Ironic.
Apathy and John were never under contract with Team Envious.
Then how the fuck did they stay on that team?
Because they were winning, probably.
Did they just assume, everybody just assumed that they were under contract?
I mean, probably.
Because, I mean, back then, that's whenever a bunch of sketchy shit was happening anyways. So, like, people would just pick up random people all the time.
Not with the top tier orgs, like your Rise Nations, your Luminosities, your Optics, your Envies, whoever, FaZe, everybody was generally just assumed to be under some sort of contract at that point. Even Complexity with their fucking tossed together roster of Parasite Mercs and whoever else the fuck they could pick up to play with Parasite.
Okay, fair.
For BO3 Team Envy, I fully assumed they would have had all their players under contract. Alright, now back into the Twit longer. Now let's fast forward to 2017 champs. Going into it, there were a lot of rumors that Slasher wanted to drop the three of us, the three of them being Cap, Apathy, and John, for a new roster for 2018 World War II. We heard the rumors, it was whatever. Nothing we could really do about it. We just practiced because there was still a ton of money on the line here, obviously. We go to the event, lose 2 best-of-5s to Optic in finals. I shit the bed, whatever. Most of you, I'm sure, know that part of the story. Then 3 days after the event, yes, literally 3 days, myself, John, and Apathy get a contract offer from Envy in our email. Why would an org want to sign 3 players 3 days after the season ends, especially when the rumors are flying heavily about those 3 players getting replaced anyway? Because he wants to sell us for a buyout, of course. Something he easily could have done had he just sent the contracts at the start of the season, but he didn't, and we sure as hell weren't going to sign now and be held hostage. And when I asked Stro why he sent us the contracts now, he said, I just think it's time we get it done. And then LOL in all caps. There's a lot more to this. What are your thoughts after hearing that part of it?
He was trying to catch a quick buck.
I just want to see where this goes. Oh, I just want to see where this goes.
Stro's a businessman. What can I say, bro?
He was trying to catch a quick buck.
He's a businessman, yeah.
Going on. Since Apathy and John were never under contract with Envy, Stro knows he has no argument with them, and they both become free agents. So Apathy and John are off the scene, no strings attached. However, since I had signed in 2016, he insisted that my contract had auto-renewed. Remember that term, auto-renewed, because that's how contracts work.
It's like a subscription, you know?
Yeah. How auto-renewed it for the 2017 season. Now, if you know the first thing about contracts, which a businessman, air quotes, businessman like Stro should, then you know that there's no implications on a contract like this. The contract either says something or it doesn't. And nothing in my 2016 contract said anything about a potential auto-renewal for the 2017 season. I had a lawyer look it over, and he agreed and told me he couldn't believe it was a real argument. After going back and forth for a week or so of Stro insisting that he truly believes that my contract auto-renewed for 2017, I call Stro and tell him straight up I'm leaving the team, and if he wants to take me to court, I'll see him there. After that, Stro tries straight up guilt-tripping me, one of his favorite negotiation techniques, I might add, and say things like, oh man, I think it's just really messed up that you do this after how long we've been together, and we paid you all the money these past 2 years, even gave you a higher salary for 2017, and this feels really unfair. Again, remember, he agreed to the higher salary because we let him keep $400,000 he owed us for the extra months. Now for my favorite part of the story. While on the last call with Stro, he brings up the fact that my 2016 contract included the possibility of fining me for not hitting the 20 streaming hours a month. Keep in mind, he owes me roughly $80,000 at this point. Between Season 2 playoffs, champs, and salary. I tell him something along the lines of, fuck it, go ahead and fine me for those hours and take it out of what I'm owed. I looked through my Twitch history and I missed 26 hours of streaming through the 2016 season. I missed it by about 3 hours each in March and June and then I didn't stream it all in August because of champs. Because August, because 2016 COD Champs was literally September 1st through the 4th, and we went out and won that shit. Won that shit is in all caps.
No. You gotta say it like it's in all caps. Say it again like it's in all caps.
August, because 2016 COD Champs was literally September 1st through the 4th, and we went out and won that shit.
That's more like it.
And here we are in a call, August 2017, so a year later. And he tells me in the call that he will be fining me that $1,300 for missing streaming hours in 2016. And I basically laugh, hang up the phone, and we go our separate ways. He never did take me to court. This probably didn't have to be this long. Does this matter? And this is just him saying that. Okay, so let's go to the TLDR. TLDR, the best I can give. Hastr0 was too lazy to send us contracts in 2017, and he never signed us that season. He tried finessing me, John, and Apathy into signing after the season was over because he knew he was going to be dropping us so that he could sell us to the next highest buyer for a team buyout. When I was too smart to fall for that absolute horseshit, out of pure pettiness, he retroactively fined me $1,300 for not streaming leading up to the biggest COD tournament of all time at that point in time. A tournament I ended up winning under his org. Also, his favorite negotiation tactic is simply guilt-tripping kids who don't know better, says don't have the experience to know better into signing deals. That is the entire twit longer minus the summary at the end of it.
Okay, then.
So... the whistle has been blown. The facade is torn down. Hastr0, businessman, question mark? Yeah, that's a lot of scummy business.
Yeah, that sounds super sketch.
If that happened in our neck of the woods, like if I tried that shit, I would never be able to work in esports. Ever again.
And then he fucking snaked Clay. But that's another story.
Oh, dude, that's only part of the fucking story.
I bet you Clay was eating popcorn this whole time, watching JCap and Courage just absolutely destroy this man on Twitter.
Yeah, Clayster's like, I'm gonna get fined. I'm gonna stay out of it.
Well, Clayster had to stay out of it.
He did, I know, but still. Oh my god, and then that's only part of it, because like Courage chimed in too.
I've seen a lot of people asking why Courage chimed in. I mean, Courage is a part of 100 Thieves too. Like if somebody was talking shit on Feeki, I would chime in, regardless of what the
Courage
fuck is going on.
also was very heavily in the scene of Call of Duty. He was the face of the CW at that point in time.
If someone was shit talking Feeki, I'd be in there.
Right, like I mean, it's just come on now, fuck.
We noticed what we're talking about right now. That comes up a big part in the Thorn discussion we're gonna hop into in like 3 minutes when we wrap up this.
See, I didn't see all of the Thorn.
Oh, bro, it's impossible. It's not possible to see all the Thorn stuff. He literally sent like 70 tweets.
Thorn was, and I still don't know who the fuck he is.
Now, that's a lot of the argument the COD community has, but I will say this because I follow Counter-Strike esports heavily. Thorn's opinion is 75 to 80% respected in Counter-Strike. He is an esports personality that people actually kind of listen to. However, he's known for these super hot takes. He's basically the Max Kellerman of esports.
Welcome to COD, buddy. That shit don't work here.
He is a 40-year-old Scotsman. That might not be the official term, but I'm sorry, that's what we're going to be referring to him as. He's from Scotland, he's 40, his name is Duncan.
Can I repeat it again?
Go for it.
Welcome to COD. That shit don't work here.
You guys can talk about Courage and Hastr0 while I fact check something real quick.
Go ahead, Zoe.
Courage just... My God. Like, from the beginning, right? From the beginning, and it was funny how Courage went up to this. Courage just blatantly let out his ammo. Like it seemed like Courage didn't give a damn, and it really you really saw it. I'm trying to find the Courage tweets real quick.
I have them pulled up if you want them.
There was the one tweet you referenced earlier about Envy not doing
we already
anything
read
on
off the
social media.
Hastr0 one, right?
Yeah.
About him not having.
So JCap said, "Don't you ever get tired of this shit, man." Hastr0 responded, "You know me pretty well, Cap. Why do you even need to ask that question?" JCap responded, saying, "Figured at some point you'd get tired of begging for attention, but I guess not." Then Courage decided to chime in and said,
Which tweet was this under?
Under Hastr0's original tweet.
His thread tweet or
the one where he said that was.
Oh yeah, the thread tweet. The thread tweet. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Okay. And then Jack chimed in. Courage chimed in and said, "Cap, come on, bro. Hastr0 has to be the one to tweet whenever Envy wins a match because there are no Envy fans to do it for him. Just take a look at holy English. Just take a look. Okay.
Just take a look. They've averaged a combined negative 4,000 subscribers across their 3 YouTube channels this year. I'd rather run a successful, well-rounded business." And then Hastr0.
Hold on, I'll play Hastr0. I'll play Hastr0. You play Courage. Got it?
Okay, got it. Let's get it.
Yeah, TJ's really into RP.
Jack, you care so much about the money and views that is obvious. Don't assume those are what drive me. Also, from the beginning, it's been about realizing potential of our teams and players as champions. We are different. Go drop another hashtag ad on the timeline.
Come on, Mike. You were a below average Call of Duty professional, became a below average Call of Duty commentator, and you are now the hemorrhaging money as a team owner. I'd keep replying, but this is the most interaction you've gotten since you snaked Clayster.
Before we continue, I'm really curious as to what Jack knows that we don't know about Hastr0 hemorrhaging money from Envy.
I don't know.
Jack knows a lot. You gotta remember,
Jack knows a lot.
Jack was in this.
Jack has his hands in everything. I know Jack knows stuff we don't know, but I want to know what Jack is referencing specifically. Because at face value, like, Envy doesn't do a lot of social media stuff, but at the end of the day, they're a successful business. I want to know what exactly he's referencing.
Their money laundering.
Hey, you never know.
Because, like, actually, no, let's take that back. What does Envy do? Because Envy at one point had the world's, like, best Counter-Strike team, and now are they even in Counter-Strike at the moment?
I don't think so.
I don't think anybody in NA is in Counter-Strike at this point.
Yeah, Team Liquid still is, but that's because they're the best team in NA right now. But I don't know, that's weird. I mean, that wouldn't matter because Envy's best Counter-Strike team wasn't even NA. They had the G2 French roster. They had Kenny S and Apex and all those guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless he's just fucking people with contracts.
I mean, he has a history of that, sure.
Hastr0 went to reply, Jack, you really don't have a clue about our business, slanging ads on Twitter and YouTube. You notice how he's changing the subject?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I also like to point out he says Jack doesn't know how business works when he's describing what business is.
And then he said, we are extremely healthy as a business, and I'm sure you'll wake up to that soon. Not going to take any pop shots, just smiles from me. Not going to take any pop shots, Jack says in quotations. You legit can't take our name out of your mouth because you envy what we have. Our intern show gets more views per month than your entire 3 channels in 1 month.
That's actually an interesting
Which
thought.
is JHB.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know JHB, he's an intern for 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
His show's actually kind of entertaining.
And then this is the part that sparked right here. 1 apparel drops earns more than your entire business in 10 years of merch.
Actually, I want to run back real quick. Envy is a public. It's a public entity, right? We can trade stock in Envious. Like, we can actually see how well Envy's doing if we look into their shit, right?
I didn't know they were public stock.
Give me a second.
But then after Jack said that, Hastr0 responded, "We have different business models in the long run. Congrats on all your success, Jack. Enjoy it." So in other words, he took the L and held it.
Yeah.
You see, that's not even different business models because, like, Jack
It's
wins.
right.
Jack's had success in esports, whether it be on the personality side or the competing side. At one point, Jack was literally a pro Fortnite player.
Yeah. Oh, at one point in time, I seen Jack tweet his Fortnite winnings compared to Hastr0's Fortnite winnings.
COD winnings, but that's not a fair comparison. The prize pool for Jack was 50 times the size of what Hastr0 was playing for.
It was ridiculous.
Hastr0 was playing for $20 in a Chick-fil-A sandwich in 2006. 2007, excuse me. However, I will say Jack won more money in Black Ops 4 than the entire Envious organization. I will say that. Because of the Doritos Bowl. I think Jack won $25,000 before taxes in the Doritos Bowl, and Team Envious and BO4 sucked, so they didn't win anything.
Dog water.
So were you looking into stocks? Did I hear you say that?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I just don't know what website I would.
Because assuming they are a legitimate business, they have to be able to be publicly traded, right?
Yeah, I'm not finding any stocks.
Okay, they're not a legitimate business. Next topic. I don't know. I respect Hastr0 to a certain extent.
Not finding any stocks.
I respect him to a certain extent, but he has this entire thread is bad takes.
Okay. I got something.
Here's what I noticed about the entire, well, at least since the beginning of this entire Envy org, right? Envy, Dallas Empire. Crimsix did it last year, and now Hastr0's doing it this year. They want to play the villain role, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just don't know how to.
Yeah.
God, I hate Aches to death. But he has been the best villain in the entire Call of Duty scene.
It's like he's a villain everywhere he goes, too. Like, he's always, even when he teamed with Parasite for like that 1 week in Challengers, Parasite had the sympathy of the fans because Aches was being a fucking idiot.
So Envy is a private business funded in 2007. They have 6 investors. Hold on, I just seen their investors. Give me a second.
You're looking at the same thing I was looking at.
Their 6 investors are Post Malone, Fedora Holes, Preston Arsment, Brock Sports, and Hirsch Interactive Group.